the 100th birthday of Dr. A.C. Wathy, affectionately known as Claude. MP Roseburg, educate youth instead of banning social media. SMMC publishes 2025 annual report. Vromi to begin painting pedestrian crossings Bush Road and AJC Brewers scheduled for this week. From the island of St. Martin, this is SXM Daily News for July 28th, 2026.
Albert Claudius Wathy dominated and spearheaded the development of Dutch St. Martin. My congratulations to the entire Wathy family for organizing this tribute to the old man, commemorating his life and works. I was privileged to know the old man due to my profession as a journalist. I first met him in November of 1982, and during Carnival 1983, his son, Norman, somehow got me on board the boat Captain David, which was at the small pier. With the old man at the controls, we set off for Anguilla. We had a wonderful day there. When my family and I came to St. Martin, the road from the airport right through to the Walter Nisbet Road, or the Poundfield Road, was unpaved. It was a dirt road, as well as Kanagita Street. The whole area in front of the then government administration building was a pool of mud when it rains. The day my friends Marcel and Myra Gomes got married, they got to the administration building by boat because it was raining. Paving the road from Juliana Airport to town was the first major infrastructural development project. The hotels were already there. Mallet Bay Resort, then the Economic Barometer of St. Martin, Divi Little Bay, Caravanserai, St. Martin Beach Club, Holland House, Bel Air, etc., providing employment for Dutch St. Martin and French St. Martin. Claude entered politics and won his first election in July 1961 with his friend and colleague Clemente Labega. The DP was co-founded by Clem Labega and Claude Wathy. Though Clemente dropped out of politics, Claude stayed on. In those days, St. Martin had a population of just around 2,000 people. Claude's vision turned St. Martin into a key international destination, attracting foreign investments, free trade, upgrading the Juliana Airport, construction of the A.C. Wathy Pier, tourism development, making St. Martin a top-class destination. The old man had many clashes with the governments of the Netherlands Antilles and the Dutch government. When higher supervision was imposed on the government of St. Martin, Claude resigned from office in 1991, saying he was a proud Caribbean man. The Hague was determined to bring Claude Wathy down. He was investigated for financial irregularities in connection with the construction of the A.C. Wathy cruise and cargo facilities, convicted of perjury and sentenced to a one-year jail term in 1994. Many people believe this was a frame-up by The Hague. Claude did not go to jail. He stayed out due to health concerns. But let me say this. The then Chief Justice of the Netherlands Antilles, Delanoy, told us, me, and a prominent Dutch businessman who is still around, that he and his department were instructed and pressured by the Dutch government through its agents to convict Claude Watty. This conversation took place at the Rembrandt Cafe. The old man was always for the small man. Most mornings he will stand by Watty Travel to greet his people. He will have $1 bills in one pocket, $5 bills in another, which he will discreetly press into the hands of those who walked up to him. Yet the old man was a viciously ruthless politician, quick to crush any challenge or perceived challenge to his leadership. Joe and Rene Richardson comes to mind. He held the balance of power in the parliament and governments of the Netherlands Antilles with one seat representing Saba, St. Eustatius, and St. Martin. Claude dictated his terms to the central government. He shaped the formation process of many central governments. He was strongly opposed to the then Prime Minister Maria Liberia Peters when, due to population growth, St. Martin was allocated 3 parliamentary seats, Saba 1 and St. Eustatius 1, arguing that this will give the opposition the chance to win a seat. He ruled St. Martin for 40 years. The old man acquired a minivan for the sole purpose of taking his grandchildren for rides on weekends, saying that he did not spend quality time with his children and will not let that happen with his grandchildren. Claude and I had many off-the-record exchanges. We had a healthy respect for each other. Sometimes a love-hate relationship, but he did what he had to do for his people. That was always paramount to Albert Claudius Watty. Happy birthday, AC, and to all of you here, I wish you well. God bless St. Martin. This is Eddie Williams.
The International Panel on Deltas and Coastal Areas, IPDC, on behalf of its partner organizations, today announced the publication of climate scenario reports for Aruba, Curaçao, and Sint Maarten in local languages. Based on the English language publication released in December 2025, the reports are now available in Papiamento, Aruba, Papiamento, Curaçao, and Dutch. The publication is the result of a unique collaboration between the National Meteorological Services of Aruba, Curaçao, Sint Maarten, and the Netherlands, introducing climate scenarios for Aruba, Curaçao, and Sint Maarten. The climate scenarios are part of the IPDC's latest Dutch Caribbean project on climate scenarios and digital climate information services. Based on scientific data, the scenarios have been developed for 2050 and 2100 and are intended to support the design of climate adaptation measures and the development of national climate adaptation plans. The climate scenarios illustrate how key climate variables may change, including temperature, wind speed, rainfall, and sea level. Using global climate models and local historical observations, the scenarios have been specifically tailored to the unique geographical and climatological conditions of Aruba, Curaçao, and Sint Maarten. In recent decades, global average temperatures have increased as a result of rising greenhouse gas emissions. These changes affect the lives of people around the world, including those living on small island states such as Aruba, Curaçao, and Sint Maarten. Understanding how the climate may continue to change throughout the rest of this century is therefore essential for informed decision-making and long-term planning. Introducing a user-friendly scenario tool on the Climate Impact Atlas. In addition to the new reports, the IPDC announced the launch of a new climate scenario tool on the online Climate Impact Atlas of Aruba, Curaçao, and Sint Maarten. This interactive and user-friendly tool enables users to explore the climate scenarios and their implications. Users can select a time horizon, 2050 or 2100, and a climate variable, temperature, rainfall, wind, or sea level, to view projections relevant to their interests. The results presented in the tool are fully consistent with the climate scenario reports for Aruba, Curaçao, and Sint Maarten. The tool is available in all local languages, making it particularly valuable for educational purposes, public outreach, and stakeholder engagement. The climate scenarios were developed by the IPDC in collaboration with its partner organizations, the Royal Netherlands Meteorological Institute, KNMI, Departamento Meteorologico Aruba, DMA, the Meteorological Department Curaçao, MDC, the Meteorological Department Sint Maarten, MDS, and the governments of Aruba, Curaçao, and Sint Maarten. The climate scenario tool was developed by Stichting Climate Adaptation Services, CAS. The IPDC is an initiative funded by the Government of the Netherlands. St. Maarten Medical Centre, SMMC, recently published its 2025 annual report. The report includes sections from SMMC's Supervisory Council, Board of Directors, and External Auditor BDO BV, as well as 2025 highlights, chapters on medical and patient care, performance figures, and the organization's corporate social sustainability efforts. Additionally, it covers the 2025 financial statements, which received a clean audit opinion from external auditor BDO BV. Receiving a clean audit opinion was vital as it confirms that the financial statements submitted accurately represent the organization's financial position and compliance with accepted accounting standards, especially as a non-profit organization. The construction of the St. Maarten General Hospital, SMGH, World Bank projects, the transition from SMMC to SMGH, performance on strategic themes, and quality and safety were topics included in this year's report. SMMC's participation in the transatlantic kidney transplant is also highlighted, with 4 patients receiving successful kidney transplants, 8 on the Eurotransplant waiting list, and 20 undergoing transplant screening. For the 2025 annual report, SMMC engaged local design agency Altus Branding to bring the document to life, making it visually appealing and easy to read, while incorporating aspects of the branding for the new SMGH. This annual report provides a transparent overview of our financial health and operational developments, while highlighting the incredible achievements and strides made in 2025. I congratulate all 425 of our staff for their efforts in making this possible and look forward to continuing on an upward trajectory in our transition to SMGH, shared Dr. Felix Holliday, SMMC's Chief Executive Officer.
Are you SXM insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXM is cardless. Request your My SXM account today and enter the virtual office of SXM. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXM, yeah. Your social health insurances.
The Ministry of Public Housing, Spatial Planning, Environment and Infrastructure, VROMI, announced the commencement of painting the pedestrian crossings. Starting this Thursday and ending on the weekend, the ministry will paint the first 2 crosswalks on Bush Road, near the Cost You Less grocery store, and on AJC Brower Road, near the Koyman Mega Store. The works for the preparation and painting of pedestrian crossings to enhance road safety in these high-traffic areas will result in temporary disruption to traffic on the main road. Motorists are requested to be vigilant of the men at work and to plan their schedules accordingly. Traffic redirections will be put in place during the specified hours. Drivers are urged to exercise extreme caution, follow the temporary traffic signs, and comply with directions given by traffic officers or work crews on site.
Now You Know with Valerie Van Putten. Interview with Dr. Emiko Bird-Lake. Cardiologist on doctors who are not going to listen to me, then you don't need to come back. And we got time. It's not done in this time anymore. Have the rights they've always had. Patient rights are very important. Patients have the right to be informed and make an informed decision. So people have to stand on their rights. But a lot of patients feel bad.
Doctors who, if you're not going to listen to me, then you don't need to come back. You know what I mean? That type of, and
it's not done in this time anymore.
Yeah.
People have they have the rights. They've always had. Patients' rights is very important. Patients have rights, and patients have rights. To be informed and make an informed decision. So people have to stand on their rights. Okay.
But a lot of patients feel that, and I'm talking about the elderly now.
Mm-hmm.
They have built that relationship with their doctors.
Yes.
And even if it goes against what they want done, they listen to the doctor.
That is true.
So how do you change that to say, well, listen, we can talk to family members and the doctor isn't God, in other words.
Yes.
The doctor isn't God, and if you don't want to do, they have some doctors, like I said, that will say, if you're not going to listen to me, then you don't need to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And then you feel like, where am I going to go now?
Yeah, and that's unfortunate.
Change doctors.
That's very unfortunate because
Mm-hmm.
this is no longer the methodology that we're using. They're no longer our practice. So we have to really involve the patient in the decision. It's not about us.
That was old school.
That was old school. That's really authority, and yes,
Yeah.
you have to listen, but no longer. And that's also. I'm also reaching out to my colleagues, the physicians. You have to do shared decision making. It's really important, and it's no longer good if you only have your opinion and only your opinion counts.
Right.
But we have to listen to our patients.
Yeah. Yeah. But like I said, the older generation believe that because that's what we've been taught.
Yes.
Do you go to a doctor because you want to be cured or you want to get checked or, you need medication or whatever it is, and we have always been told, back in the day,
Yes.
to listen to your doctor.
Yes.
He knows it. He studied for that. He or she studied for that.
Yes.
So they know it better
You're the
than you.
doctor. Yeah. What I find funny is the patient comes and I say, "Oh, how are you doing?" "Well, I'm here to hear from you how I'm doing." Yeah, but
Exactly.
I need to know from you how
Exactly.
are you
You
doing, because
tell
I can
me.
tell you on paper how you're doing, but how are you really doing? Because the paper doesn't necessarily have to, or the results on what I'm seeing on paper doesn't necessarily have to correlate on how you're really doing, And I always have to laugh with this when they ask me that.
Yeah.
When I ask that question and I get that answer, it's like, well, I'm here to tell you, you have to tell me how I'm doing.
Yeah,
Yes, to a certain extent, but it's important that, because sometimes you may have, let's say in my field, I may have a result which is mediocre, okay? It can be that you may have complaints from this or you may not. So it's important for you to relate to me whether or not you're having symptoms, so that based on, even though the report may say that it's maybe 50% chance that, for example, the artery is clogged, that it can or cannot give complaints. So even though that exam says it's only 50% blocked, but if you're telling me, well, doc, I'm still getting chest pain when I do this, then I ignore that result and listen to you, because it's important that based on what you're telling me, I can make a decision and say, okay, we need to go further. You understand? So it's important that you relate to me how you are doing. And I'm really trying my best to let people understand that when you're coming to the doctor, come with all the information. Because when you come with only half of your medication or half your information, we can't really communicate well and make a well thought of plan for you. Treatment plan. So I encourage my patients, please come, and if you don't understand, bring family with you, because then you can always ask or write it down or write your questions down before you come.
Right.
Yes?
Exactly.
Yes.
Dr. Bird, in layman's terms,
Yes.
talk to us about what is resuscitation.
So resuscitation means that at a given point in time when the heart stops, so you see no heart activity, or because of whatever reason your breathing stops. At that moment, we as a team or anybody, a bystander, can decide to do compression, so chest compressions, to start to try to restart and revive the heart, okay, and also give some breaths as well. But if you're out there, we do advise, if you have no protection, if it's a family member, you can try to do mouth to mouth. But if it's not a stranger, especially do the compressions. And those compressions are really going at a heart rate of as fast as 100 to 120 beats per minute. Okay, and when you do the compressions, you have to do it on the chest, and you have to make sure that the chest is compressed at least 5 centimeters so that it can be effective. So if you just do very lightly and very slowly, it will not happen. So we have, of course, when somebody has a code, and it's coding, meaning that their heart stops or they stop breathing, a whole team comes and we start that compression. We administer medication, and we can do a resuscitation sometimes for half an hour, sometimes for an hour, depending on the situation, of course, so and depending on the outcome of what the chance is. If it's somebody that was found already unconscious and we don't know how long, we may not go on very long, because we don't know how long that patient was down. So, and if it's in hospital, of course, we're in the hospital and it's witnessed, we still try to continue until we get circulation, meaning that the heart restarts. Okay, so resuscitation means we do compressions, we administer oxygen or for the breathing, we administer medication, and if needed, we even give electrical shock so that we can reset the heart if they get a heart rhythm problem. And if all of that doesn't work, then at a given point, we make an ultrasound. If the heart is still, then we decide to call it, to stop, to discontinue.
Now for the weather forecast, today through Wednesday midday. Variably cloudy with light haze and isolated showers. Surface winds, today through Wednesday midday, east-southeasterly to easterly with a light to moderate breeze at 7 to 16 mm'm. State of the sea, slight to moderate waves, swells. 2 to 5 feet outlook through Thursday midday. Partly cloudy, hazy and breezy. Isolated showers are possible. And now your 3-day forecast.
SXV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXV is cardless. Request your MySXV account today and enter the virtual office of SXV. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXV, yeah. Your social health insurances.
MP Shamira Roseberg does not support legislation for St. Martin banning children below a certain age from accessing social media. She says education and digital literacy would be more effective than restrictions. Roseberg was responding to questions from the Daily Herald following France's decision to approve legislation banning children under the age of 15 from accessing social media. Asked whether St. Martin should consider similar legislation, Roseberg said, "To be very honest, I believe it would be extremely difficult to effectively enforce legislation that bans children under a certain age from accessing social media. While I understand the concerns that have led countries like France to consider such measures, I don't believe legislation alone will solve the problem. Instead," she said, "the focus should be on preparing young people to use social media responsibly. My focus would be on empowering our young people rather than simply restricting them. We need to equip them with the mental strength, critical thinking skills, and confidence to distinguish right from wrong, understand that their actions online have real-life consequences, and learn how to use social media responsibly." Roseberg said, "Freedom comes with responsibility," and argued that children should understand why certain online behavior can be harmful rather than simply being told what they cannot do. Freedom has always come with responsibility. Instead of raising a generation that only knows what they cannot do, we should strive to raise one that understands why certain choices are harmful and is capable of making responsible decisions, even when no one is watching. While opposing a ban, Roseberg said the government still has an important role to play. That doesn't mean government has no role to play. Parliament should encourage greater digital literacy in our schools, support parents in navigating these challenges, and ensure there are strong safeguards against cyberbullying, online exploitation, and harmful content. These are conversations we should absolutely be having. She said Parliament should help strengthen digital literacy, support parents, and ensure safeguards are in place to protect children from online risks. Roseberg said that building resilient, informed, and responsible young people should be the priority. "In my view, our greatest investment should be in building resilient, informed, and responsible young people. Technology will continue to evolve, but if we equip our youth with the right values and judgment, they will be far better prepared to navigate whatever the digital world brings." This is our SXM Daily Newscast. Thank you for joining us.